Welcome back to the Solution Series, brought to you by DoubleRadius and hosted by yours truly, Jeff Holdener. And today is going to be a great session for us. We're going to talk about another partnership that we made in 2022 with ICT Power. And today we have a special guest, VP of Sales and Marketing, Blair Clements. Welcome to the Solution Series.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Thanks. Well, again, this is going to be a fun one. So what we're doing here is we're going to do a little four-part series, okay? So part one, we're going to talk about ICT, who they are, kind of what they bring to the table. And then we're going to split up because they are so diverse in their solutions. We wanted to put it into a multi-piece so that you can understand all the parts and pieces and we can put it all together into one great series. So we're going to talk today about ICT. The next phase, we're going to get into their DC power supplies. Then we're going to get into DC power distribution and wrap it all up into their modular power systems. So Blair, ICT is not a new company. You guys have been around for quite a long time now, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. We started way back in 1986. The founder of our company just started in his garage building DC-DC converters back in the day. Obviously, we've changed a lot since then, but yeah, 1986 now. So we've been
1980s.
in the market for quite some time. Yeah.
That's a year for me. That was the year that my family relocated from Illinois to North Carolina. So, I know that year well.
There you go.
So,
Yeah.
so ICT, you guys have been a staple in the communications industry. I've talked to a lot of people I trust and know in the industry, and they've brought your name up for years. So we're really excited, to have this partnership now between ICT and Double Radius. But now, if we get more into our world on the WISP space, how have you seen the WISP space growing over the last few years?
Oh, we've seen tremendous activity in that space. I mean, as I mentioned, we started in 1986, but our primary market at that point in time was the land mobile radio market, which is basically communications, generally voice-based communications for public safety applications, police, fire, ambulance, search and rescue, and providing the critical DC infrastructure to power up those types of networks. And then about 10 years ago or so, we saw an opportunity in the wireless internet service provider space. The application use case for when it comes to DC power is very similar to land mobile radio. The only variance really was a lot of the equipment was 48 volts, where we had traditionally been doing a lot of work in the 12 volt space, which is predominantly what land mobile radio architecture supports. So yeah, in the last 10 years, it's been a rapid growth segment for us. And as you know, there's a lot of funding going in to provide that type of broadband to underserved or unserved areas in the United States and even in Canada as well. So yeah, we've been fortunate enough to have products that have been pretty well received in that market, and we've been growing fairly rapidly in that space.
It's good. So do you think a lot of the driving factors have been, the growth of LTE or CBRS? A lot of those systems are DC systems. Do you see that being a driver in the growth?
Yeah, I think what we've sort of seen a metamorphosis over the last 10 years or so as these wireless internet service providers are almost, approaching a carrier grade type supplier. I mean, the requirement for internet, high speed internet has become an essential service over the last few years. It's just required. It's important for everyone to have access to that type of broadband. Particularly with COVID, of course, everyone working from home or a hybrid work model, remote healthcare, remote education. And so the wireless internet service providers have really stepped up and have realized that, to have a dedicated DC power plant solution for their networks is really required now because the expectations from their customers are a lot higher than they probably were 10 years ago. I think anyone in a rural setting 10 years ago was just happy to have some kind of internet service. And if it went out, they just dealt with it. It was just the normal. Whereas now, I don't think you can really get away with that. You really need to be able to have access to high speed internet 24/7, 365. And the way to do that is to make sure your network supports that and it's hardened in every way. And that includes DC power solutions.
Now, the solutions, we're going to get more of these into the series, but your solutions all offer the options of redundancy and also remote management, correct?
Yeah, they do. And that's been a really big driver for our success, really, because the nature of these installations, particularly as we're talking about rural areas, by their very nature, they are they're they're remotely located. They're difficult to get to, or they may take a long time to get to. And so being able to remotely access the power conditions at your site, more importantly, control certain aspects of your network, can enable you to resolve issues potentially. And do it remotely and quickly. And that way, if you have any issues with your network, you can get that up and running much more quickly than it takes to send a technician 3, 4 hours in a truck to go out there and see what the issue is.
That's spot on. Now, we've seen a lot of the carriers and service providers and everything else. They've been investing a lot of time and energy, into fiber solutions. Not just wireless but wireline, infrastructure. How have you seen kind of the shifts? Are you guys providing a lot of solutions for the fiber providers today too?
Yeah, that's a great question. What we're actually seeing is traditionally we've been dealing with wireless internet service providers, and they're starting to do a bit of a shift, or at least go to some hybrid approaches in some cases. So some of their networks are actually sort of fiber based as well, with the fixed wireless on the edge of the network. So we're seeing a lot of the WIS, not all of them, but we're seeing some WIS sort of go with that hybrid approach. And we've built a pretty good relationship and working with these types of customers, and so they're coming to us for solutions to power up the fiber side of their sites as well, which we've been able to do. So just different devices that require different amounts of power, but the concept is the same in terms of a dedicated DC solution to power up that type of equipment.
No, that's perfect. I agree completely. So I'm spot on there for that one. Well, so like I said, this is going to be our little introduction video. Like I said, we are super excited to be a partner with ICT to be able to supply their gear. Double Radius is stocking the product on the shelf, and over the next few series that are going to be released, you're going to learn more about their products. And please reach out to your rep. We have questionnaires for you to fill out to kind of make sure we size these things correctly. You guys, ICT, you guys have a great form to fill out, and it kind of gives real clear answers as to what you're looking for, what you need. Make sure everything's sized right, priced right, and it's going to work the first time. So we are really excited about this, Blair. I really appreciate you being here on this series, and we'll get into the next one here soon. Any closing points? Everything good so far, Blair?
Yeah, I would just echo what you said there. We've got a great team in DoubleRadius, and we also have, the internal team at ICT that's, really supportive in the consultative selling and being able to provide the appropriate DC power solution based on the customer's needs. Sometimes DC is new to some of these customers, and so they're looking for our guidance in these areas. And between ICT and DoubleRadius, we're able to provide that.
Spot on. Like I said, I appreciate you being here. Appreciate the relationship. Engage your rep. Let us get you in touch with the right people at ICT. We'll set up calls. We'll set up meetings, virtual meetings. Let's do PowerPoint presentations, and we'll get you pricing and get the right solution there for you. This is Jeff Holden and Blair with the Solution Series, and we'll see you guys at the next series here coming soon. All right. Thank you very much.